Hail up to the people. So I am calling. I am recording this because I just got in and I was looking through some responses. I saw a response from my favorite vlog person, which is Tanya TKO. Big ups to Tanya, doing a good thing. And I saw a response from someone who I subscribed to, Mr. Reindeer, which we haven't seen in a long time. And in it he encourages that we respond to his response, or his video. It's supposed to make, I guess, an entry. So, here I am, I'm making the entry. This was in direct response to the Vodacom, I think I'm saying it right, or Vodacom, the Yebu shenanigans, I guess, that were going on. You said that it was blatant open racism against white people because the Yebu they distinctly and blatantly show that they don't want white people to invest in the company. They only want black people. I didn't read up on it, in all honesty. I'm just kind of actually doing this on the fly. So I don't know exactly what the bylaws are, but going on based on what you said, I did write down a couple of points that I think I should say to you. And the first point I think I should say, if things are as you say, how you say, the way you say, it is sad. It's really sad. I would not have wanted the country to come to that. I don't think that that's a proper way of doing things. However, I don't know all the munitions that are going on in the background as to why this is the way it is. The other thing I have to say is, I don't even know how to say this correctly, but even though it is racism, I do have to admit it is racism. There are other things that I do have to admit, but I will get to those in a second. I do have to admit that it does seem blatantly racist, because if the criteria for who gets to and who doesn't get to were simply reversed, then I would be hurt. But as this world is not a flat plane, as everything we do, as it ebbs and flows, we must admit that there is a history that goes back before you reigned there, and that's what you don't want us to deal with. You always want us to deal with the here and now, not what happened before. In the process, this is all part of a healing process. I'm sorry. I honestly wish that the company had gone about it differently, and so I think some preferred treatment should have been given black people in this instance. But necessarily to block you out because you're the wealthier group, I don't think that's the right way to go, because it sets a precedent for when the new minority group, which is white people, who has always been the minority group, but not when it came to positions of power. But when that new minority group, which are you who feel disenfranchised, when you do come into power again, because you will come into power so long as you're there, and it doesn't seem like any of you have any plans on leaving, once you do come back into power, these precedents will be there, and then you can use them against the indigenous people, indigenous population of the country. I would also like to say another point. It's kind of funny to me. I don't know. It just seems kind of funny that this is now the discussion that we're having. Here I am sitting down in my in my home, getting to my computer. I open up my email account. I see 2 hits. One I checked. I talked about that person before, and now I go to the second one, and here you are. Here you are. You are telling me that because you're white, you feel bad, disenfranchised. You think that everyone's coming down on you, and you know, you go through the whole song and dance again, where you say, as a white person, As a new generation, I shouldn't have to go through all of this because I didn't have anything to do with apartheid. You are wrong. You had everything to do with apartheid. It was because of you that apartheid was going on at the time that it was going on. Because your forefathers wanted to make a better country for you, so that when you came to be, so that when you grew into, when you matured, when you came of age, that you would have something that they could pass on to you, that you can rule. You had everything to do with apartheid. Don't you ever think that you had nothing to do with it. It was because of you. Whenever I see you, I see the reason for apartheid. Your whole generation, and you do not understand that. That's what you have to understand. This is why you must pay. Now, getting back to it. It's not about, it's not so much about the apartheid, the bias or whatever. It's simply a matter of right and wrong. And in all honesty, again, I have to agree with you, India. It is wrong. But we're not taking the full context of the situation as per why this is going on the way it is. And you said some of it. Yes, maybe back then, you know, or maybe even now, white people have more money than black people. And maybe. Yes, you could understand all these things, but yet still you want us to disconnect. You know, everything is just a separate layer unto itself. There's nothing interconnecting. There's nothing interwoven. There's nothing linking one to another. And that's not the way the world works. Everything is connected. The butterfly effect does happen. In the small island where I come from, I remember I went home 2 years ago, and they were speaking about dust from the Sahara, 6,000 miles away, or even more, that's coming down. And how many of our of the people on my island are so allergic to it? So they expect, you know, hay fever symptoms to go up. They expect this, they expect that. We live in a small world, a very, very small world. I might keep it and say it. Small world. Everything is connected. I am connected to you, you to me, you to Kev, you to everyone on the web once you log on. But also, the present is connected to the past, as it is connected to the future. So when you do things in the present, you must account for the things that are going to, that happened in the past. But you must also have a goal for the things that this thing will affect in the future. Until you understand that, that is where there will be this great division, or this missing of points, of ideals, of ideologies when it comes to racism, especially in your country and yourself. This is why you will never understand, because you don't understand that singular point. To wrap it up, until you do understand that point, until you do understand connection, and until you stop this standalone complex that you seem to want to have and want to give to everything, nothing will make sense to you. Nothing at all. And with that, I bid you adieu. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to respond. Goodbye.